From being blasted on radios to being muted by the public, R. Kelly has gone through a huge transition in the media's eyes. This star is now completely disgraced in the public eye. But what is left of the star's insane collection of million-dollar mansions and extravagant cars and money? You'll just have to find out. Today, let's explore the lifestyle and history behind R. Kelly. We probably all remember R. Kelly bumping from car stereos and the home sound system on cleaning Saturdays, but he's much more successful than just being a constant staple of 2000s R&B music. He's won several Grammys, his music was featured in multiple shows and went platinum numerous times, as well as having more singles hit #1 than you can count on your hands. In the heyday of his career, he was an unstoppable hitmaker. We may have parted ways with R. Kelly and his public image, but he still has some sustaining fans as his Spotify still has nearly 5 million monthly listeners. Even after his long-abandoned music career, he still holds a net worth of a whopping -$2 million. Well, you heard that right. R. Kelly is nearly $2 million in debt as of 2024. And this will make a lot of sense once we take a look at his astonishing collection of luxury items. Stay tuned for that. R. Kelly was born on January 8, 1967, in Chicago, Illinois, and raised in the South Side. He was raised by his single mom, Joanne, and never knew his biological father. She worked as a school teacher to support him and his 5 siblings. Because his mom was a devout Baptist, they went to church every Sunday. And at 8 years old, Kelly started singing in the church choir, where he got to practice his singing and get a feel of gospel music. Kelly's early childhood was fraught with abuse and traumatic experiences. It all started when he was 8 years old. In his autobiography, he described having a girlfriend at this age whose name was Lulu. They were on a normal play date by the creek when a fight started with a group of older children. She fell into the creek during the scuffle, and an abnormally strong current swept her downstream, and she drowned. This traumatic event was R. Kelly's first musical inspiration. That same year, he would witness a pattern of sexual and verbal abuse from an older female family member that would persist for the next 6 years of his life. Until the age of 14, his older sister, Teresa, would abuse him and his younger brother, Carrie. He was too afraid and ashamed to tell anyone, so it continued for years unnoticed. At the age of 10, he was sexually abused by an older man who was a family friend. These pre-adolescent experiences with sexual abuse that were never addressed appropriately would come back to haunt him in his later years. Stick around to find out how the story develops. When Kelly went to Kenwood Academy, he had a music teacher named Lena McLean. She saw the talent in him and wanted him to take full advantage of it and express himself. So, for the school talent show, she encouraged him to perform "Ribbon in the Sky" by Stevie Wonder. He was only 13 at the time, so he was still quite shy about singing in front of the entire school. He wore sunglasses on stage when he performed the song. He won first prize for the competition, and this marked the turn in the focus of his life towards music. Because of his performance, his teacher became more adamant than ever that he should focus on his talents in music, even going as far as to encourage him to quit the school basketball team. At 14, he had to drop out of Kenwood College because he had severe dyslexia and couldn't keep up academically. He instead started performing in the subway for tips. Want to explore the history behind the stars exiled from Black Hollywood? Click the subscribe button and notification bell to get the deep down dive on all of your favorite stars. In 1989, he formed a group called MGM, which stands for Musically Gifted Men, with his fellow musicians Mark Williams, Vincent Walker, and Sean Brooks. When they appeared on Big Break, Kelly gained national recognition and won the $100,000 prize in 1991. However, the group disbanded that same year, and Kelly briefly went solo. For a while, he was working with Jive Records to collaborate with Public Announcement on the album Born into the 90s. He separated from that band in 1993. Now, Kelly was completely solo and on his way to experiencing the most dramatic upward shift in success of his entire career. It started with his solo album, 12 Play. 12 Play was a huge commercial success. The album spawned hit singles like Bump and Grind and Your Body's Callin', establishing Kelly as a rising star in the music industry. The album went gold and over the next years went 6 times platinum. He also started to write and produce for other big names in the industry like Aaliyah, Michael, and Janet Jackson and Changing Faces. His next album, R. Kelly, was a lot less salacious than 12 Play, and instead embraced vulnerability. This only helped gain him more favor and catapult him into further success in the industry. It became his first labrum to chart #1. One of the defining moments of Kelly's career was his contribution to the soundtrack of the 1996 film Space Jam. His song, I Believe I Can Fly, reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became an anthem of perseverance and empowerment, earning him 3 Grammy Awards. By this point, R. Kelly was a well-established and popular R&B musician. For the next decade, he would produce hit after hit, each album becoming more popular than the one that came before it. His prominence and talent in the music industry were undeniable, but there was something going on in the background that his talent just couldn't hide as well anymore. Despite his early success, R. Kelly's career was marred by controversy from the outset. In 1994, he secretly and illegally married the singer Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old, and he was 27. Her parents had to rush to annul the marriage after it was found out that her age on the license was falsely listed as 18 years old. It was later revealed that Aaliyah had lied about her age to list herself as 18. A former tour manager testified that R. Kelly found a way to bribe a government official to get Aaliyah a fake ID to use for them to get married. The incident with Aaliyah foreshadowed deeper controversies that would haunt Kelly's career. Allegations of sexual misconduct and inappropriate behavior began to surface, casting a shadow over his professional achievements. These allegations, coupled with rumors and legal battles, would come to define his public image in the years to come. As R. Kelly's fame continued to grow, so did the controversies surrounding him. In the early 2000s, a videotape allegedly showing Kelly engaging in sexual acts with an underage girl surfaced, sparking a high-profile legal battle. The trial, which spanned several years and garnered intense media scrutiny, resulted in Kelly's acquittal on child pornography charges in 2008. In 2018, he released the song I Admit on SoundCloud as a response to his accusers. There are no actual criminal admissions in the song, despite the title. Instead, he denies everything and posits the allegations of domestic violence and pedophilia as a matter of opinion. In the lyrics, he says, I admit I mess with all the ladies, that's both older and young ladies, but tell me how they call it pedophile, because that is crazy. You may have your opinions, entitled to your opinions, but really am I supposed to go to jail or lose my career because of your opinion? However, the allegations did not subside. Over the years, multiple women came forward with accusations of sexual abuse, coercion, and predatory behavior against Kelly. These allegations were detailed in documentaries like Surviving R. Kelly, which aired in 2019 and reignited public scrutiny over his conduct. The documentary series shed light on the alleged abuses committed by Kelly, prompting widespread condemnation and calls for justice. The Mute R. Kelly movement gained momentum on social media, urging the music industry to sever ties with Kelly and hold him accountable for his actions. In the aftermath of renewed allegations and public outcry, R. Kelly's career experienced a sharp decline. Radio stations and streaming platforms began to remove his music from their playlists, and concert promoters canceled his performances amid mounting controversy. The entertainment industry's response reflected a growing consensus that Kelly's alleged behavior could no longer be ignored or tolerated. Legal troubles continued to haunt Kelly. In 2019, he was indicted on federal charges of sexual exploitation of children, child pornography, kidnapping, and forced labor. The charges spanned multiple jurisdictions and involved numerous victims, marking a pivotal moment in the legal battle against him. In 2021, R. Kelly stood trial in federal court in New York City. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, he was found guilty on all counts, a verdict that sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond. The verdict of this trial marked the official end of R. Kelly's career in the music industry. R. Kelly's public perception became deeply divided. While he retains a loyal following of supporters who protest his innocence and champion his musical legacy, the majority of public opinion has turned against him. The revelations and allegations exposed in documentaries like Surviving R. Kelly have had a profound impact on how he is viewed by the public and the broader entertainment community. At the same time, debates persist about separating the art from the artist. Some argue that Kelly's music should be judged independently of his personal conduct, while others believe that supporting his music perpetuates a culture of silence surrounding sexual abuse. Since listening to his music still technically financially supports him, in light of his legal troubles and public scrutiny, R. Kelly's ability to pursue new projects has been severely curtailed. His ongoing legal battles have consumed much of his time and resources, leaving little opportunity for creative endeavors or public appearances. As of the year 2024, R. Kelly is serving a 31-year combined sentencing for child pornography, racketeering, and sex trafficking. Judge Ann Donnelly commented that his actions over the past 25 years were calculated, carefully planned, and regularly executed. So if this is the man we discovered him to be now, what was going on behind the closed doors of his extravagant mansions? Let's take a look. R. Kelly had two mansions at the peak of his fame, and one of them was raided by the police and left completely abandoned. Let's take a look at just how luxuriously he lived and imagine the happenings behind the doors of a star's home. Let's first take a look at R. Kelly's abandoned Chicago mansion. In 1997, after his song "I Believe I Can Fly" became a hit, R. Kelly bought a Chicago property in Olympia Fields. The home is what could easily be described as a mega mansion. Over 21,000 square feet of home over the 3.7-acre lot. The great room of the home features red carpeting and a shiny white piano with red keys at the center. It's the first sight of the home once you swing open the large wooden doors. The paneling on the home is done cabin-in-the-woods style, and it gives the place a homey feel, although I bet you've never seen a cabin quite this large. It also features a large window accent that reveals the forest-like view outside the home and a cozy fireplace at the center of the display. Across this grand room is an even grander home office, a half-circle red desk with a large plush red chair, both accented with metal and cherry-stained wood. In the corner of the office is a small bar. The theme continues throughout the home. Red, furniture with white walls and a wooden accent on something. The home also has a huge home theater with large red seats and red carpeting. This room is fit for more than 20 people to watch a movie there, although it was rarely the case that all the seats were filled. A more obscure room in the house has completely mirrored walls, with a single couch and a cupboard at the center. The home also has a guest room with its own living room and a balcony view of the fields that surround the mansion. It's equipped with its own kitchen for a guest to cook for themselves, a bed, and a living room. The room is all brick and wood, giving it a warm and cozy red and brown feel. The kitchen is perhaps the most grand part of the home, switching themes up a bit with white, gold, silver, and wood. It has the most modern kitchen appliances and an open kitchen with an island, fit for dinner with a show. Right across the kitchen is the large white, glass and gold dining table and the almost overwhelming chandelier right below it. The dining table seats about 18 people, with 9 on either side. The home was recovered later by the Isley brothers. Rudolph Isley took over the home, but after he passed away in October of 2023, his wife Elaine decided to sell off the home for $3.5 million. She refused to comment on why she was selling the home, but one can imagine how overwhelming it would feel to have to live in a humongous, mega mansion, all on your own. Now for the multi-million-dollar alleged criminal mansion where R. Kelly supposedly committed a plethora of heinous sexual crimes. Specifically, he was accused of holding several women hostage in a sex cult in this very mansion. This mansion is located in Atlanta. The mansion spans over 2.5 acres, with 7 bedrooms. It's located in a gated community where people value their privacy, and homes are relatively further apart than most suburban neighborhoods. The rent for the home is estimated to be around $16,000 a month. From the outside, the home has a traditional colonial home theme, even with some English countryside inspirations in the layout of the gardens and the build of the home. In the back of the home is a large crystal blue pool and a balcony from the master bedroom of the home that provides a view of the vast backyard and part of the neighborhood. The home is surrounded by greenery, supposedly to give the star a lot more privacy. The home also includes a fitness center, wine room, playroom, and library. The inside of the home is a lot more modern and lighter on the eyes, with white decor and modern appliances in the kitchen. R. Kelly was evicted from the property in 2018 because he was having financial troubles and ended up $31,000 behind on payments. After his eviction, it went on the market for $2.1 million, but of course, with its grim past, it sold for much less than the market value. In the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, claims were made that he held the women against their will, and they had to ask for permission to use one of the home's 8 bathrooms. While the cost of these mansions explains some of his financial crisis, there's another culprit lurking in the garage. Let's look into the opulent car stash of a once beloved Hollywood star. R. Kelly's car stash is just as extravagant as he was. In images of his home, his garage is shown to have a wide selection of luxury cars and even some odd collector's choices. The most visible car from his garage is a black Rolls-Royce Phantom. R. Kelly happens to be a huge fan of Rolls-Royce and owns 3 of them, which he had a driver to get himself around in. From his car collection, it's easy to see that he didn't have very much of a concern with being discreet when he was out and about. This specific model is priced at nearly $500,000. Adjacent to it, a pristine white Rolls-Royce Ghost gleams under the lights. As modest as a Rolls-Royce can be, is as modest this car can get, as it's priced at nearly $350,000. Not to be overshadowed, a black Bentley Bentayga sits proudly, its robust yet sophisticated design making it a standout in the crowd, even more so with its price tag of anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000. The collection also features another silver Rolls-Royce Phantom. Nestled beside these modern marvels is a vintage gem, a gold and silver classic car. The specific model and type of the car is unknown, but it seems that R. Kelly had a knack for collecting oldies just for the sake of it, as he's never been seen actually in a vintage car. To public knowledge, all of his cars are paid off and don't contribute to his extremely negative net worth. However, we can clearly see from the heavy-handedness he practiced when it came to luxury cars that his fate didn't come out of anywhere, as from his financial statements, he was living well above his means. even for a very successful musician. Besides his brief illegal marriage to Aaliyah, R. Kelly married a woman of a more appropriate age in 1996. When Andrea Kelly first met R. Kelly, she believed he was broke, and they bonded over their childhood experiences with similarly abusive characters and their struggles with illiteracy. They were married for 13 years, and she later admitted that she believed that he was abusive to her. When confronted with the question, "How can you marry a man like that?" she claimed that it didn't feel wrong at the time because it wasn't foreign to her. Growing up, Andrea witnessed the abuse of her grandmother at the hands of her grandfather and grew up in a household where domestic violence was prevalent and normalized. Her abusive grandfather was a preacher, and she stated, "Well, if a man of the cloth is abusive, then surely a man of the world is," and they ended up being so much alike. She described the abuse she experienced as verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual in nature. She also claimed that he stopped paying child support in June of 2018 when she first spoke out. However, her claims of abuse were dismissed by the court and deemed to be meritless by the judge. R. Kelly has 3 children, Joanne Robert and Ja Kelly. His daughter Joanne later claimed that the allegations brought against her father were very hard for her to digest. She's conflicted by the situation, as she still deeply cares for her father, but also wants to express appropriate sympathy towards his alleged victims. Click on this next video to explore the truth behind the life of another Black Hollywood star whose life is shrouded in mystery. Whose life story entices you the most? Comment down below and it might be the next video.